Welcome back to the channel, good friends. Brian from Apex Auction Car Reconditioning. Today we are at Copart, Eastern Pennsylvania. As you can see, with all the gorgeous cars surrounded. All right, we're looking for something for the channel, and we're going to start walking the rows here. I have a list here as well. I'd like to thank the staff for letting me come out and get some footage out in the yard here. Always have a ball, like a kid in a candy store, as I mentioned, puts a smile on my face. You can find anything from donated cars to abandoned cars, crash cars, flooded cars, burnt cars, you name it. And if you want to make it a project of your own, you have to come out and take a look at it in person before you bid. And that's going to be the rule of thumb for any auction that you purchase a car from. So we're here on a beautiful day. As you can see, just a couple clouds in the sky, perfect temperature. Let's find the vehicle. Well, let's stop and take a look at the Cadillac XTS, I think this is. XTS 2016. And the loss type is unknown. What does that mean? Well, could be here for a flood. Maybe it was theft recovery. It's up to you to kind of figure out what's wrong with it. Here we have some fresh marks, so it would take a fender. A little bit of repair in a door, that's no big deal. I see it is squatting back here, so the air ride is questionable. Some scratch marks. What about on this side? On the driver's side, what do we see? It's got some soft dents, meaning nothing really pointy came in contact with it, but we have marks here on the doors, like, so this right here will give you the indication that it could be theft recovery. And then also in here, Jimmy marks. That's going to tell you exactly what was going on here. So this is probably a theft recovery. Well, let's take a look at the inside now that we have the door open. A little bit of bolster work on the seats. What do we have here? It looks like somebody punched the infotainment center, or maybe that was just the sun drying it out. 2016, it shouldn't be that bad in here. Well, it does have power, so let's see if we can get it to start. Nope, just clicks. Not enough to get things started up here. I was hoping I could at least see the mileage, but not enough juice to do that either. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's pop the hood. So, you know, it's not a flood car. You can eliminate fire, so it's going to be theft. Well, when it comes to theft, all types of damage can happen to a vehicle. They normally beat the snot out of them. So this has the direct inject V6. Let's see if they were running it around with oil in it. Yeah, there's oil in it. It needs to be changed, but I've seen worse. So with theft vehicles, very similar to flood vehicles, you can get them pretty cheap. So I believe I'm going to go through the motions of getting a jump box over here and get that AC Delco fired up and see if we can bring it back to life here and see what it sounds like. In the meantime, let's move on and see if we can find some other ones. So here's a cool color that caught my attention. This is what, a Blazer RS? Look at that color. What is this here for? I can see the airbags popped on the A-pillars. Lost type unknown, 2022. So there's if it was in a crash, where are we going to see that? It's a Trailblazer RS. There it is. Oh, how bad is that? So door for sure, and the post that goes up, that could be pulled out. Did it hit the wheel? There's some marks that it came in contact with the wheel, so there's your worry. Did it throw that off? Because the door and that pillar that could be pulled out, that's no big deal. This is going to be the big deal over here. This airbag runs the whole length from front to back. And look what it did to the upholstery up here, the headliner. And then there's bags in the doors here. Side of the seats, that popped. So all the seats will have to be replaced. Look how it just blows the material right out. Now this one here didn't pop. It does have juice. So if you get all those other issues straightened out, does it start? Oh yeah, easily. Only 71,652. No service light, which is strange because you would normally have a, let me turn this AC down. AC gets cold immediately. You would normally have a check engine light for the airbags being deployed. Maybe that'll come on. Maybe that's what that stands for, but yeah. Cute little 4x4 or sporty little sport utility for, you know, a young lady just getting her license. I don't know how much the airbags cost, guys, but they're not cheap. Also, when it comes to airbags, when you do replace them, there's normally a module for all airbags that connects to the body control unit, and it's down in the center console and has to be sent out to be programmed. I've done that already. I can't say that it was much of a hassle because it wasn't hard to find. You unbolt it from under the center console near the gear shifter, gear selector, and you send it to a company, I think it was in Massachusetts, and they reprogram it and send it back. You plug it right in. It's a plug and play, and then you don't have a light on the dash. That is essential if you're going from a salvage title to a reconstructed title. You need that to happen. And it's going to be a minimum of $350 or so, depending on shipping, to get that sent out, get programmed, and sent back. So just something I wanted to pass along. But yeah, this would be a fun car for, you know, a young individual just to have fun around and go from point A to point B. I'm sure it's quick. It's an RS. It's probably quick for the size of the engine, but not for me. Let's move on. So here is a Chevy HHR, but I stopped because it says SS down there. I mean, these always give me a chuckle. This was in the early 2000s, I believe, or late 90s, when Ford was coming out with their kind of rebrand of the Thunderbird, and Chevy also had a pickup truck, SS. There were a couple other vehicles out there that had that retro look with the newer styling. This one here, lost front end. It's a 2010 HHR, but again, it does say the SS. So I'm gonna pop the hood if I can, because it says front end damage, and the only thing I see is this right here. But it looks like somebody tried to patch it. Huh. And I guess they finally took the loss on it. Other than that, we have a little bit of rust on the bottom. That's no big deal. Nothing on the back. Peeling paint, no big deal. Yeah, the HHR SS. What does this look like in the inside? Smoker, got some burn marks. But you have a little bit of storage in the back. A lot of the typical Chevy hard plastics, guys. This plastic is just everywhere in the inside. Absolutely everywhere from top to bottom. Not really much to it. Very dirty in here. Let's see if this thing has any juice whatsoever. I do want to pop the hood. All right, we do have 110,000. Starts up. We have a check engine light. Makes a little bit of a weird noise. Something rattling underneath. Maybe somebody stole a converter, I don't know. But it does run. Let's pop the hood and see what's under there. So I'm not familiar with these, and I don't understand what makes the SS different from the standard HRR. Still has a little tiny Ecotech. What is it? I can't find the size. Little 4-popper, 4-cylinder. But as an SS version, you would think it would be souped up a little bit. It's not. Definitely not from here anyway. But anyways, if you're nostalgia for old styling on vehicles, old styling on newer vehicles, this is one of them right here. You could probably get dirt cheap. Just a little bit of TLC when it comes to the fender. The headlight's okay. Missed the hood. Repaint on the bumper, and you'd be good to go. Something that caught, you know, Mercedes and BMW should just keep on running. But this one's squatting too as well, meaning the suspension is dropped all the way down. But this is a 550, 2013 GL550. Minor dents and scratches as for the lost type. It's a gorgeous looking SUV. Big too. 550s are very spacious. Besides probably mechanical, why is it here? It's all in one piece body-wise. AMG style wheels. I don't see that it's an AMG, but let me show you AMG style wheels. Yeah, gorgeous looking. And the interior is probably going to be just as nice. Third row seating. Seats are in great shape. You have nice silver piping. You know, this is older, 2013, but this is a nice place to be. This interior is in really good shape. We do have power, so let's see if this thing starts. And wow, it does. So it's not very happy, it's not running great. And the check engine light is on, so it's probably a mechanical issue. We'll let it run for a little bit, see if the suspension, the air suspension lifts, and there is a malfunction there, so that's not going to happen. So this is mechanical along with your minor dents and scratches. If you are familiar with these, maybe worth checking out, because it is pretty sweet. Let's pop the hood and see what's inside. So this is a 4.7 liter V8 under here. So this is the big boy. It doesn't look like anybody's been messing around under here. No milkshake under here. Oil needs to be changed. But yeah, there's other mechanical issues that are more important than an oil change. Pretty sweet, but not for me. For the next one, I saved for last because I've been asked to look at the other things, you know, besides Mercedes, BMW, and Corvettes, and Mustangs, Camaros. So I'd be happy to look at a Toyota, and this is a bonus here because this is a flood car. And these are, so 2021 Toyota Camry XSE, lost type, water flood. And these are huge gambles. You get these for a great price, but you really need to know what to look for. the first thing to look for is, do they have a flood line on this anywhere? Meaning, did they mark this thing where they believe the water came up to when it was flooded? This looks like it's the water line to me without a mark. But we'll check the inside. Open up the trunk and open up the interior. Yeah, I don't see a flood line over here. Well, let's see. So a lot of moisture is still in the interior. It's trying to evaporate out, and with the heat, it's building up on the glass, the moisture. So a lot of moisture on the inside, and you can see where the water. Here's your water line. We found it, guys. That's pretty high. I'm going to let the heat and moisture escape here. It's fogging up my glasses. But what you need to be familiar with then is this vehicle and all of the modules and wiring and computer components that are below this line. So the motors for the seats going back and forth are going to rust up, and so is the tracking. That is pretty high. I mean, if you bring that forward, that's up to here. And there's a lot of computer components in that area. What a shame. Yeah, everything is soaked back here. So there's a lot of modules and wiring that cross underneath the carpeting and the cushion. That's all going to have to get pulled up. Now, I can't get in the trunk because that's power, and there's a button right here, and they hopefully have the battery disconnected because you don't want power going to any of those relays or any of those electrical components. Could cause a short, could cause a fire, and you just don't want to power it up until you know exactly what has been damaged, and it's everything. It's going to be pretty much everything. So if I open the door here, yeah, again, right here is that flood line. Just below, so right here, but there's still a lot there. There's still a lot of mechanical issues. Yeah, it's a shame because this was a gorgeous vehicle. Let's pop the hood. Guys, that was just body and electrical. What about mechanical? What did the water seep into? Any turbos, any openings in the transmission, transfer case if it was a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, diff. They all have breathers where water will seep in. Oil is clean and I don't see like there's water mixed in, but that doesn't mean there isn't water in there somewhere. Is it over full? No, it's not over full either. So hopefully water didn't get in here and in the transmission, and then all you'd have to worry about, and I can't say all you have to worry about because it's a lot, but what you would have to worry about then is the electrical system, and that's a nightmare enough. And here is another vehicle that's flooded. We did cover this one already. It's still here. So it was not sold. I don't believe it met the reserve. You have two flood vehicles side by side that were really cool at one time. We'll end the video on these. A very huge gamble. Some people are good at getting these running and getting these going again, but how much trouble do you have down the road as years go by and all the terminals and connections corrode? That's the problem. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. A beautiful day to be out here looking for cars to bring to the channel, and I'm going to keep on looking. If there's anything that, any type of vehicle that you would want me to look for and search for, just name it down in the comment section, and I'll catch you in the next video.